Hello everyone, hi, how are you guys doing today? Welcome back to another episode reaction to Buffy the Vampire Slayer. That's right, my name is Matt. Hello, what's up? So, okay, last time on Buffy, what happened? We watched episode 2 of season 3. We just started season 3. I really liked the first episode. The second episode was actually dealing with something that I liked. I like that we are addressing this, and it's the fact that it was a little awkward to adjust back to, hey, I'm sorry I disappeared, I ran away, and I didn't contact y'all for like a couple months, but then on the other hand, they also made mistakes that made Buffy want to do that in the first place. And the way they went around this is kind of realistic in the sense that, yeah, it was very difficult. It wasn't just like she came back and then everything's peach. Like there was a lot of drama and emotions that people didn't express. And now they kind of did. And then they got interrupted by a zombie attack. And then we had to save our lives. And then we were good. So that was what happened last episode. It was fun. Okay, episode 3. Let's see where this goes. I don't think there's much else I can say here. So yeah, we're just gonna make this intro short. Patreon, check out the Patreon, link in the description below, pop up on the screen. You can support the channel and watch the next 2 episode reactions already, as well as full-length reactions. So yeah, that will be cool. Let us begin. Buffy the Vampire Slayer Season 3, Episode 3. Let's go. I just realized, eventually we're gonna get her out of high school. Will it be next season?
Oh, Scott Hope at 11 o'clock. He likes you.
I haven't
jealous last year, but you weren't ready then. Pre-readiness to make conversation, or to do that thing with your mouth that boys like.
What?
Hi, Buffy.
Hi. I think that went very well. Don't you think that went very well?
Look, I'm not trying to snare Scott Hope. I just want to get my life back, you know, do normal stuff.
Who's Scott Hope? Sorry, every time I'm just sitting here like, are you a filler episodic character or just someone I forgot about? Okay, we got a limo.
Town's got quaint. He called me sir. Don't you just miss that?
Who is he talking to?
I mean, admittedly, it's not a haven for the brothers, you know, strictly the Caucasian persuasion here in the Dale. But, you know, you just gotta stand up and salute that death rate.
The death rate must be pretty high. Must be real high. Ooh.
Killer Slayer, yeah. Still, big picture.
All right. What's up? What are we doing?
Have a nice night, sir.
Right back at you.
I'm going to rip her spine from her body.
Ooh, a Mortal Kombat player.
No, I'm hungry.
Alright, y'all are monsters. I don't know what kind of monsters, but every time I forget to check about the spiders. Literally every time. I'm gonna write myself a reminder right here on a notepad. Check for spiders. God damn it, you utter buffoon. Okay, not real. Maybe this is what we're gonna be doing every episode this season. Maybe we're just gonna see Angel every episode, but it's just gonna be Dream Angel, not real Angel.
I had to.
I loved you.
Ooh.
Oh God, Angel.
Go to hell!
Ooh.
I did.
That's cool. That's a good nightmare sequence. I like that nightmare sequence. He got angry, it's the guilt, the blood, his body falling apart, and all of your friends watching, not saying anything. Still has it.
That you provide in writing one glowing letter of recommendation from any member of our faculty who is not an English librarian. You must conclude that your violent tendencies are under control.
You look like someone who would not get along with neurodivergence.
I'm really back in school because the school board overruled you. Wow. That's like having your whole ability to do this job called into question when you think about it.
Ooh.
I think what my daughter's trying to say is, nah, 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 nah.
I'm so glad that Joyce is also like, fuck you. I'm so glad.
It's the mayor on line 1.
Ooh. Is the mayor the creature that we saw in the limo? Maybe.
Have you ever noticed, though, when he is mad, but he's too English to say anything, he makes that weird cluck-cluck sound with his tongue?
Hi, Giles.
Well, there's a litany that one has to recite in Aramaic. It's very specific, so I need to get a few details about your experience of defeating the Catholic and Angel.
Big fight. Angel got the pointy end of the sword. Catholic sucked him into hell instead of the world. That's about it.
Hi, Scott. What are you doing here?
You told me if I came after 8, I could run into Buffy.
Whom's are you? Okay, we're gonna play this game again. Victim or antagonist?
Thank you for asking. It's just that they're...
Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna go stand by the dance floor. If you change your mind, you can mosey on over, and then if not, then you don't mosey.
Come on, Buffy. I mean, the guy is charm and normal, which is what you want.
She's still having nightmares about her dead boyfriend. Like,
What's stopping you?
trauma, mostly.
What's the last thing that guy danced to? Casey and the Sunshine Band?
Okay, that's real fun though.
I don't think that guy thrives on sunshine.
Stop struggling. This won't hurt.
Okay.
It's okay, I got it. You're Buffy, right?
You're the new Slayer?
I'm Faith.
Okay. Yeah, a dead one. I mean, I said it before. Someone died. Kendra died, so there should be a new Slayer. Dead.
Thanks, B. Couldn't have done it without you.
I kind of like her. Okay, let's see what her personality is like.
You're the screaming from outside, so I go tearing out, stark nude, and this church bus is broke down, and there's these 3 vamps. When all of a sudden the cops pull up, and they arrested us both. Isn't it crazy how slaying just always makes you hungry and horny?
Sure.
My watcher went after some retreat thing in England, and so I skipped out. I figured this was my chance to meet the infamous Buff and compare notes. So, B,
Sure.
did you really use a rocket launcher one time?
Yeah.
So he's got me wrestling with him, okay? The thing must have been 12 feet long.
I'm
You know,
still...
This, also naked?
Bro, chill.
Faith, this is Giles.
I've seen them. If I'd have known they came that young and cute, I would have requested a transfer.
Raise your hand if ill.
Well,
Alright. She's into Delphs.
So this is Sunnydale, home of the big brew and evil.
At least once a week.
You know, you can hang out with us while she's testing. You wanna?
Say yes and bring your stories.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, later. We'll talk weapons.
new girl seems to have a lot of zest.
Yep.
I've been having a little problem with the binding spell for a Cathla.
Gothela, Angel, me, Sword.
See, that's what I thought. But
Giles, look, I've got no...
You guys are a hoot and a half. I mean, if I'd had friends like you in high school, I probably still would have dropped out, but I might have been sad about it, you know?
I gotcha.
Oh, excuse me.
Sorry. I know you from somewhere.
The Bruns. You're friends with Buffy, right?
Yeah, I'm Faith.
I'm Scott. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
You really do need to find the fun, B. Buffy?
And she's leaving. We have to go.
Oh.
Bye.
That's...
He's a cutie. Has he seen anybody?
2,500 megs per. We have the whole world at our fingertips.
I want the blood of the Slayer.
Okay. Are we introducing a new main antagonist?
Rumor has that this town already has a Slayer, which makes 2.
Oh, maybe they followed...
I'm going to pay for what she did to me.
I see. Maybe they follow her here. Faith, that's her name, sorry. Maybe they follow Faith here.
Food's here, boys.
You guys order?
Yep. I mean, the pizza's still good, man.
Just a second, honey. You know, Buffy never talks that way. Why do you love it?
Well,
Yep.
when I'm fighting, it's like the whole world goes away, and I only know one thing, that I'm gonna win, and they're gonna lose. I don't let that kind of negative thinking in.
Right. Right, that could get you hurt. Buffy can be awfully negative sometimes.
Faith is just like taking over Buffy's life in a way. Not willingly, but...
I'm the one getting single white female here.
It's probably good you were an only child.
This right away after previous episode is...
I mean, 2 of you fighting is safer than 1, right?
Should be in theory.
Mom, the only way you get a new Slayer is when the old Slayer dies.
When did you die? You never told me you died.
No, it was just for a few minutes.
Oh, I hate this. I hate your life.
I'm not gonna die. I know how to do my job. I've got all the help I can stand.
I was like waiting for Faith to just burst into the room being like, anybody here smoke weed? That would have been really funny.
Maybe a little too long.
Excuse me?
What is it, the angel thing?
What do you know about Angel?
Just what your friends tell me. Big love, big loss, you ought to deal and move on, but you're not.
We don't hear from you on Angel or anything else in my life, which, by the way, is my life.
What are you getting so strung out for, B?
Why are your lips still moving, F? I just hope they can't.
Okay. Hey, trash can.
My dead mother hits harder than that.
Hey, we're learning.
Faith, stake him already and give me a hand.
Nope.
This is me, you dead bastard.
I understand. I see. All right. I understand now. There we go.
What is wrong with you?
What are you talking about? I was getting the job done.
No, you weren't. That's the point.
I thought you could handle yourself.
She did. She took them all out. Okay, but okay. Vampires, probably Kakistos or whatever, kill her mother, and now she has like this like weird revenge trauma.
I wonder if they still kayak. I used to love a good kayak.
He lived for kissing toast.
You mean Kakistos?
I think it was taquitos.
How do you reach Kakistos from kissing toes? I like how during that fight Faith said like literally 2 things, and that was enough for me to be like, okay, I get what your character is. You again. What's up?
How are you?
Victim or antagonist?
I got you a little present. A guy in the retro shop said that it represents friendship. And that's something I would very much like to have with you.
Sure.
You like?
That is the angel ring.
I can't. I can't do this.
Or at least something that looks very similarly.
Are you alright?
Nope.
Hi. Yeah. I'm fine. Did you reach the retreat? What did our watcher say?
Her watcher's dead.
Alright. I was expecting something like that. But like,
Yeah, I know. I'll get it to you by tomorrow, I swear.
did you kill your watcher or did it die and you just didn't want to
that
mention
brings you to
it?
the poor side of town. Kakistos.
That he's here? What'd he do to you?
It's what I did to him. All right?
Oh, you ran away?
I can help.
You can mind your own business. I'm the one who can handle this.
Yeah, you're a real badass when it comes to packing.
You don't know me. You don't know what I've been through. I'll take care of this, all right?
Like you took care of your watcher? He killed her, didn't he?
You don't have a word for what he did to her. What now?
Faith, you run, he runs after you.
That's where the head start
He's
comes
clearly
in.
like dead and there's a vampire behind. Yep. Alright. Boss fight. Immediately. Hopefully she won't die.
No, I just bought us a little more time. No! Scream later! Escape now!
She's having a moment. She broke the moment she saw him.
We're okay. What happened?
I was there when he killed my watcher, and I saw what he did to her, what he was gonna do to me. I tried to stop him, but I couldn't, and I ran.
Faith, you did the right thing, okay? You didn't die. One of him, 2 of us.
He has a bunch of minions though.
Yes.
No.
He drove us here.
Oh boy. Bucket kick.
Don't die!
Oh, this guy.
If we don't do something, the master could get killed. Well, a person with him.
Oh.
It's the modern vampire. You see the big picture.
They're gonna kill him, but those 2 are gonna be the real antagonists this season.
I guess you need a bigger stake, Slayer.
Fuck you, that works. Die. Cool. Alright. Demons defeated. Trauma overcame. Not really, but...
Faith is to stay here indefinitely. And I'm to look after you both until a new watcher is assigned.
Yeah, new cast member! Hopefully. I like her.
Angel was cured
Mm-hmm.
when I killed him. Angel was cured. Your spell worked at the last minute, Will. I was about to take him out, and, something went through him. And he was Angel again. He didn't remember anything that he'd done.
Nope.
He just held me. It was too late, and I had to. So I told him that I loved him, and I kissed him,
And then I killed him.
and I killed him. I don't know if that helps with your spell or not, Giles. I've been holding on to that for so long. It felt good to get it out.
That's nice.
Giles, I know you don't like me playing with mystical forces, but I can really help with this binding spell.
There is no spell.
Okay.
The ring sort of confused me, but I liked what you said about friendship. I liked it a lot. And Buster Keaton, big fun. And I'm capable of big fun, even though there's no earthly way you could possibly know that about me. Wow, if I knew it.
He looks nervous. He found someone else.
I'm really gonna have to think about this. Okay, you know what? I thought about it and I'm in. When do you want to go?
Okay, never mind. Ooh. I believe this is where you all fought at the end of season 2. The ring. Yeah, okay. Alright. I think that's gonna be that for today. Never mind whatever the fuck I said. What are we doing? Okay, he's here now. What the fuck is happening? I'm gonna guess that time passed in between her dropping the ring and him dropping butt-ass naked, because otherwise she would have realized that. I don't know how the fuck the rules for what just happened, but sure. He's back in the show. Okay, so I'm noticing a pattern here, and that pattern is I like every Slayer better than the last one. I like Faith more than I like Kendra, and I like Kendra more than I like Buffy, which is, it's a little bit funny. Even though Buffy is the main character and she clearly gets the most amount of development out of anyone in the show, on paper, the type of character that I lean towards the most is going in that direction. I like Kendra more than Buffy, and now I like Faith more than everyone else. But okay then, that was a fairly important episode, I think, because it introduced a lot of things that I'm not sure how relevant they're gonna be, but we might keep them for the rest of the season, which I would love. So, okay. We picked up a dirty street rat in the name of Faith, who is a Slayer. I love her. She looks like a bad girl. She's a dropout and she's a mess and she has trouble with everything and she's just like, fuck you, you can't tell me what to do. She's great. I love her personality a lot because of the fact that then we learned that her antagonism is due to trauma. Perfect. Exactly what I need. Like, that's something that happened with, like, Chainsaw Man 2, which I'm watching at the same time as watching Buffy. Like, there was a character that, like, they were putting on a front that's very clearly a result of them not wanting to be seen for what they really are, which is a ball of trauma. And then when a moment happens where that comes back, they just immediately crack. They literally just fall to their knees and just start screaming. Faith had that in this episode. That's the moment that sold me. I was kind of sold before, but that's the moment that did it for me. So I like her as a character a lot. I look forward to see where she's gonna go. I'm expecting her to die. Hopefully we won't do what we did with Kendra, which has now been confirmed for sure dead. But she could come back as a Force ghost or something. I don't know. Again, she could be trapped inside of Drusilla's mind or some bullshit like that. I'm still holding on to that theory. But yeah, she's dead and now he has been replaced with Faith. I'm glad that I realized that was something that was going to happen, like before when Kendra died. I was like, oh, this means we'll get another one later, and we did, and it's cool. I'm still unsure as to how the fuck the Slayer thing works, because no, I get it, right? When someone dies and then another one is chosen. Here's the problem with that: every Slayer comes in like, oh, I've been a Slayer for like 20 years of my life. Like all of them are just like, I've been training to become the best Slayer there was for like a decade now. And it's like, it's literally been like a couple months. Like both of them. Kendra was like, yes, I haven't had a life because I was trained the entire time to be a Slayer. And it's like, girl, you've been here for 6 months. Because that's when Buffy died. We saw it, so yes. And that's kind of the same goes for Faith a little bit. Maybe not as hard as Kendra, but with Faith, it sounds like this is someone that has their shit together, when in reality it's literally been like 3 months, right? Yeah, Kendra died at the end of season 2, and the summer was 3 months. That's what they said. But they sound like they've been training and they knew exactly what the deal was for a long amount of time, and like that's not the case. Like even with Buffy, like okay, again, I know the movie's not canon, but with Buffy, it was like, you were a vampire slayer your entire life, and we just found you. I'm sorry it was late. Like, maybe that's not how canonically it happens. Maybe it just got transferred to her, like, right at that moment because someone else died. But even then, Buffy, like, we've been doing Buffy for, like, 3 years now. I mean, before she comes into the school, she already was a slayer, and she was struggling with it. And now this entire time, we're struggling with it. And the fact that you introduce another slayer who looks like they got their shit together, and then it's like, no, like, I don't believe it. I don't believe that you train and became a proper, like, good slayer, like, knowledgeable and capable with, like, weaponry and shit and tactics within, like 3 months. I don't buy that. To me, that's like a small plot hole. It's not to me, that's like them thinking like, well, I want to make this character. It doesn't really make much sense unless we introduce, this is the way they could do it. It's so, like, they can do like, oh yeah, we watchers, we have like a guy who can just see into the future and can just tell us who the slayers are going to be, so then we train them. They could do something like that. In fact, I am expecting them to do something like that if they ever need to answer this question that I have. But for now, it really just feels like, yeah, I thought the idea for the character of Kendra was really cool, and even though it doesn't make any sense, I'm just gonna roll with that. Like, that's how I feel they did it. And kind of the same goes for Faith here. This episode also introduced what is or might be the big bad or bats of the season, maybe. I don't know how the season's gonna work, but we can maybe assume that's the case for now, because we got to see Kakistos or whatever, and he wasn't a big bad. He just got one shot. It's fine. We just take care of him in the same episode. That was great. And while the final fight was like happening, I was thinking to myself, like, what if we just took care of this dude and instead we focus on the other guy? The other guy with the suit. I think he had a suit, didn't he? Yeah, he looked like fancy as hell. He looked very smooth. And then there was the other lady that we saw for like a couple shots. I didn't think anything of her, but she was going with this guy, so maybe they'll go together and they will become main antagonists. I mean, the thing about them is that I'm still waiting on Spike and Drusilla, because I feel like they're too good of characters to just like disappear, right? And they're good enough of characters that I don't think they'll leave for too long. So I'm expecting them to come back at some point soon. And the reason why I thought that they could become, like, not them, but he, specifically the guy on the suit that looks very fancy, is that I thought that he was very smooth, but also because of that, he had a much better personality and character than whatever the fuck Kakistos has going on. Because Kakistos is just like a monster of the week kind of dude, and that's exactly what he was. But like when you look at him, it's just like, all right, we have this like ancient evil vampire, and he has like a cool scar and big hands, and he's just like, I'll kill you, and it's like, whatever, right? There's no personality to that. And then this guy shows up. And this guy actually does feel like, yeah, I could see what's up with this character. I don't know his name, but the guy in the suit, he was the real deal. I was like, hell yeah, I like this guy. So if he becomes the main bad, at least for this season, or for a good chunk of it, I'll be down for it. I'll be down for it. So I like that. And I like that he's like, yeah, see the modern vampires, we see the big picture. You know, it's like, yeah, we don't fuck around with those old traditions and beliefs. You know, that's kind of what Spike was. And that's what I really like about Spike. When the Spike first shows up, he was like, fuck this like tradition shit. Fuck that kid. I'm just gonna do whatever. And I was like, perfect. I like that a lot. So this is in some ways echoing that. I hope that this doesn't really fully become a trend. I mean, even if he becomes a trend, it's something that's cool. But I hope that they just don't just run out of ideas and do the same thing every season. But I don't think they will. But anyway, beyond that, this episode was like heavily about like in a way dealing with some of these issues that like weigh on you. This applied to Faith, and it also applied to Buffy. Oh yeah, there was a there was a beefy cliffhanger right at the end that we're gonna have to talk about in a little bit. Sorry, I forgot about it because I'm actually recording this discussion like literally like 8 hours after I watched it because I didn't have the time. Okay, one thing at a time. Let's talk about some of the issues here. So the Buffy issue is, hey, I killed my boyfriend and he was good and it was a very traumatic experience, and she didn't talk to anyone about it, and no one knew what actually transpired. So this entire episode, Giles had this thing of like, well, I need to do this like spell for a Cathla or whatever, so I'm gonna need you to give me all the details of what happened that day. And the thing about that is that at the end, like Willow has this bit going on the entire time of like, let me help you with the spell, and Giles is like, no. But then at the end, after Buffy tells him exactly what happened, she leaves. And then Giles and Willow are left together, and Willow is like, okay, you can, I should help you. And Giles is like, Willow, there is no spell. And then he just walks away. It's an interesting case of Giles lying, because I feel like he doesn't lie a lot. He doesn't deceive people. He's usually very honest, if anything, because he is not really, I don't think he's a good liar. I don't think he is. I think he's usually the kind of person that like, he just shows his heart in a way. Because, like, even if he didn't tell anyone about what transpired previously in his life, that's not him lying. That's just him not wanting to talk about something. But I don't think he usually lies. But the fact that he lied here is a little bit, to me, felt weird. But it's cool that he did, because the idea behind that is, I want Buffy to talk to me about what happened. But she's not budging. She's not telling anyone what actually transpired, and clearly something is going on. So I'm just gonna like bullshit some kind of like reasoning as to why she has to tell me about what happened, so she can actually let that out. Because Giles is an adult, and Giles has been through shit, and he recognizes that, hey, you should talk about this with someone. I don't know what it is, but you should say it. So Buffy finally has a moment where she tells Willow and Giles what actually happened with Angel, and then she says, okay, actually that felt good. Anyway, I have to go. Like, it was a moment of like Buffy realizing like, okay, now that I actually told people about what happened, now I actually do feel better. So, okay, it's therapeutic. So she's like, okay, I'm just gonna go. And then later at the end of the episode, we see that she's able to move on from that, in the sense that she grabs the ring that she had earlier, a moment in the episode where she like, this kid, whatever the fuck his name was, I forgot, Mr. Hope here. This guy is trying to like make a pass on Buffy, and Buffy is like, I'm sorry, I'm busy, I'm sorry, I can't, I'm sorry. And then at one moment she like stops to listen to him, and she's like, okay, yeah, we could do something. And then he gives her a ring that really looks, I thought it was for a moment, but it wasn't. It just looks like it. The angel ring. And then Buffy just freaks out. She just freaks out. Everything goes slow motion. And then she drops it, and she just, I'm sorry, I can't. And it's just like, okay, something's going on here with this girl. Nobody knows what. But at the end of the episode, after she's actually vocalized what's going on with her, she finally has a moment of like, she goes back to the place where she killed Angel, to this one building. I'm not sure where this is, but sure. And then she goes and drops the ring, and well, just places the ring gently on the floor, and then she just walks off. Just some sort of like an in memoriam, but also just like, I have to let go of this because he's not gonna come back. Psych! That's the wrong number! He came back right away. Like, immediately right away. Like, it probably wasn't like 5 seconds later, but that's how it was for us. For us, the audience, it was literally just like, I'm gonna place the ring, and then immediately fade to black, fade back in. There's a ring. Angel's like butt-ass naked is on the floor again. And it's just like, okay, what are we doing now? I have no fucking clue. Angel's back, baby. Okay, we're not gonna get rid of this character because it's a very important character, right? So it's not gonna just disappear, I guess. Well, the thing is that I see David Boreanaz in the intro, right? I'm like, okay, so he's still around. But I had a moment where I was thinking like, well, maybe he's in every episode as like a dream version of himself, because every episode Buffy has had some kind of dream or nightmare where Angel is in. So I'm thinking like, okay, maybe we're gonna be doing that. Maybe he's gonna be like more of like a spiritual guide of sorts. Not even that. It's just like a mind guide, you know, like someone that Buffy remembers and has scenes with every episode, but they're not real. It's just like her version of it. But no, he's here. Okay, sure, whatever the fuck that means. Questions. Is the angel? Is it Angelus? Was he in hell? He looks wet. Where was he? Was he under the sea? What the fuck are we? Like, what is the fuck is going on? I don't fucking know. I don't know what we're going to be doing with Angel. Like, okay, so one thing I thought about that could be happening, because every time something happens in the show, and in any show really, this is just the way it works, I'm thinking to myself like, okay, what is your purpose? What is the reason? What are we doing, right? Like, for me personally, it's more likely for me to just start, like, analyzing something like, okay, why? Instead of, like, emotionally investing myself in something. I'm more likely to just jump into, like analysis mode and trying to figure something out, which is why the game of are you a victim or antagonist is a thing. This is why I do it, like, not every episode. It's been a while because we've had like a series of really serious episodes so far, but whenever we're like the middle of the season, I'm always playing this game, and this is the case for like season 1 and season 2. I don't know if it's gonna be the case for season 3, but I do know that the episodic like villain of the week kind of filler shit just kind of like stop. Like, I don't think it disappears, but it lessens in frequency. But that's the game I play. We see a character that I've never seen before, and they're interacting with the main cast, and I'm like, okay, you're probably not gonna last more than one episode. Are you antagonist or victim? Because that's the only way to wipe the slate clean. Like, are you gonna die or are you gonna die? Like, which one is it? So whenever this kid, is his name Scott? He looks like a Scott. Scott Hope, there we go, that's his name. He was a Scott. So Mr. Hope over here, I see him and I'm like, the first thing I think about, the very first thing is like episode 5 of the first season. I think it was 5. It was the episode where Buffy's like, oh my god, I have a crush on this guy. And then that guy, like, we go on a date and then he sees us kill vampires and shit. And then she gets like a lesson on like responsibility. And that was an okay episode. I didn't mind it very much. But that's what cemented it in me. That it's like, okay, these characters are not real people that I should care about in the show. I mean, like, these characters are not real characters. These characters are here because they need to be here for 40 minutes and then they just go away. So whenever Scott Hope shows up, and they talk about it, like, Buffy's like looking at him at the beginning, and I'm sitting here like thinking like, what is that? Like, what's going on? And surprise, it's boys again. It's that's something that to me is like a little bit, I don't know if weird is the correct word, I guess. I don't know. I was never a 16-year-old teenage girl in California. Like, I don't know how that works. But, like, the fact that Buffy constantly is like, all right, boys, right? And everyone talks to Buffy as if, like, yeah, that's a good thing, you know? That's like, weird to me. Like, she just went through a severely traumatic experience where she just killed and sent to hell her like demon boyfriend that was just resurrected to be good again, but also he was bad for a while and killed people, and including people you care about in some way. So all of those are very complicated emotions to deal with. So the fact that like immediately we're like, yo, Buffy, you should go on a date with this other kid who we've never seen before, like, that feels weird. And it's partially because we never seen that guy before, but it's also because I just don't think it's a good idea. I just think Buffy should chill the fuck out for a second, and she's having trouble with that, as she should. But the fact that people are like, no, Buffy, you should be doing that. That's the normal thing. I'm like, I don't fucking think that's the case. So that's, if anything, that's like one criticism of the show I could have so far, is the fact that like we focus too much on boys. Like, that's the problem. It's like, I understand we're like dumb 17-year-olds, but also like, I mean, I don't know, man. Maybe it's just me. I wasn't like that when I was a 17-year-old. I wasn't focusing on like anything that moved. I was just playing games or something, man. I was just playing video games. I was playing League of Legends, which is arguably not a good thing. But yeah, like that's where my head was at. I wasn't focusing on... There's a mosquito flying around. I'm gonna Mr. Miyagi this fucker. What was he talking about? Scout Hope? Okay, yeah. So what I'm thinking this guy is gonna be, and I could be wrong here because I'm like trying to make sense of his existence in the show right now, and the only thing I can come up with, I mean, he could become a mainstay. He could be like us, right? He could be someone that doesn't matter much right now, but he will become a character later. That could happen, but what I'm thinking is he's gonna be a character that's gonna be here to be at odds, just to make the situation way more complicated and dramatic when it comes to Angel, right? Because Angel shows up and Buffy's dating some other guy, right? And I don't know what could happen. Like okay, maybe Buffy's dating some other guy and Angel shows up and he's looking for Buffy and he just sees that from a distance and he's like, oh, and he's hurt. So he just like leaves and he doesn't tell anyone about anything. And I don't know, something else happens and there's like a miscommunication thing happening because there's feelings of, like, I don't know how it could go. But like, or just the fact that like, and this is more how I can see it happening, is that this guy, just Scott, he's gonna like, I don't know, he's gonna fucking die, right? He's gonna die, he's gonna be a victim or something, and he's just gonna disappear from the show, because I'll be honest with you, he doesn't look like a very interesting character. He could become one, but even Oz, I like Oz initially. Like, the first time he showed up, I was like, okay, this guy's cool. And then later, he became cooler. I mean, I guess if anything, like maybe a hint of a character we could get is that, like, at the end of the episode, he seemed like he was like stressed out by Buffy being like, hey, let's go do something. I'm sorry about what happened. And maybe like he had something going on and that's why he was like wondering if he should do something with Buffy, and then he changed his mind and he was like, okay, you know what, fuck it, let's do it. Like, maybe there is something happening there, but right now he seems very what is the descriptor I'm looking for? Generic white boy, you know, the same one that we always see dying every episode. That, so yeah, we'll see what he's about. But okay, a good chunk of this episode is really focused around Faith, and Faith kind of usurping Buffy's life, which is a heavy storyline for Buffy to deal with, considering we just did Buffy being gone because she hated herself so much and she just wanted to run away, did not think about anything, and then coming back and feeling like a complete stranger and that nobody wants her and that the world would be better off without her. And then into this, where someone else comes along and she's better and she's cooler and everyone likes her so much, and Buffy's like, well then what the fuck? Like, I'm at the verge of running away again for the third time. So Faith is taking over Buffy's life here a little bit, you know, everyone's talking about Faith, not, like, that must be hard because, like, you just came back and, like, you're going through this issue of, like, I don't think that people give a shit about me, and then immediately the episode after, there's a new chick in town and everyone's just freaking out over her and not you, and it's like, god damn it, guys, come on, give our girl a break, give Buffy a break. But, okay, Faith. I like Faith a lot, like... Like, she's the type of character that strikes me as, like, a character that's, like, literally just, like, living off in the streets, just on the run, like incredibly problematic, like, family situation, just, like, she doesn't have anywhere to go, she doesn't have anyone she knows, she's just literally living off of, like, trash in the floor. I'm not saying this is the case, I'm just saying that that's, like, kind of, like, the vibe I get. Again, I've been watching Chainsaw Man, that happens. And so she shows up and she has a bunch of, like, stories to tell, and, like, the thing is that she seems to be very... what is the word I'm looking for? Like, she's very extroverted, right? She comes in and she just starts telling stories and talking to people and just befriending everyone. And, like, she doesn't realize that she's, like hurting Buffy in a way. But at the same time, she has a moment where she's like, hey, like, I noticed that there's something wrong with you. And Well, her reaction to the Buffy thing is, girl, you gotta get your shit together, okay? Like, it sounds like you've been doing this shit too long. It sounds like you're going through shit, and honestly, I think you're not cut out for it. Because me, Faith, I'm doing things right by just beating the shit out of these vampires out of, like, my own self-satisfaction instead of just killing them. Which is not true. She's not doing the job. She's overly emotional. And Buffy's, like, overly emotional in the sense that she almost doesn't want to fight, but Faith is overly emotional in the sense that she's like, fuck it, I'll kill all of you, which is also not a good thing. You're not keeping your head clear. And in this situation where Buffy was needing help in the middle of the fight and Faith was literally just like beating the shit out of this vampire, it's like, okay, why? And then she mentions her dead mom, and my first thought was like, okay, the vampires killed her mom or something. And she has this, like, weird, like, revenge trauma. And she's like, I'm gonna kill all of you motherfuckers, come at me. I don't give a fuck. And she's doing it out of, like, self-satisfaction. Like, she's satisfying her anger and her hatred and her desire for revenge. Kinda what happened. Kinda. So she mentioned her dead mom, and then later we learn that her watcher died, and then she tells us that her watcher died in front of her, and she saw what they did to her, and then what Kakistas or whatever his name was, doesn't matter. He said that he was gonna do the same to her, and then she ran away. What I'm thinking is, was her mom the watcher? Or maybe I'm just reading too much into the mom thing. Maybe the mom thing literally doesn't mean anything, right? Maybe it will be a piece of information that will be relevant later. Just like, oh, my mom was killed by, I don't know, a zombie or whatever. In the zombie episode that we're going to inevitably have a one. We just did the zombie episode. That's why I was thinking about zombies. I'm stupid. I'm sorry. Like, my mom was killed by a wallaby. Whatever. So then we're gonna get the Wallaby episode and she's gonna be like, yeah, she makes a comment about her dead mom or something. Maybe she was killed by vampires. Maybe her mom was the watcher. Like, that would be actually very fortunate if your mom was the watcher. But yeah, like, we just have a watcher that was killed in front of her, and she freaked out and she ran away and she's like traumatized by it. And I really like this, because what happens is that earlier in the episode, she's giving Buffy shit about Buffy clearly having something going on, and it's like, fucking get over it, right? Which is, again, that's not how you deal with someone who's having issues. But the thing is that later you see that she has the same issues, and she is not able to deal with them. Her version of dealing with them is literally to just run away. Again, I like that a lot. I can relate to that a lot. I like that character a lot. So her version of dealing with problems is literally, fuck, I'm scared, I'm gonna run. This makes you wonder, like, what did they do to her watcher? It could be real bad in a couple different directions, but let's just go with the gory one. Let's just say that they, like, literally ripped, like, her skin off or something like that, you know, something fucked up. Maybe just literally ripped her head off, and she just had to watch that. Like, I don't know, like, it could be fucked up in so many different ways. And, like, I'm thinking of, like, a scene in JoJo Part 5, because, again, I have to relate everything to JoJo, where there is a guy that gets sliced into, like, 37 pieces while someone else is watching. His lover is watching, and it's fucked up. And it could be something like that. I don't know. Like, we might learn what happened later. That was her trauma. That was her problem. And Buffy's like, girl, you fucking, we gotta fight. Like, stop running away. And, like, the thing, but also, she also felt guilty that she did run away, like a coward back then. And Buffy's like, listen, rule number 1, survive. Like, don't die. You did the right thing. You're alive. But now we gotta fight. So it's the thing of, like, girl, don't feel guilty about what happened. It wasn't your fault. It's not wrong to be scared. It's not wrong to feel these things. But also, like, we gotta get our shit together. So let's go, right? Let's go. And then they fight. And it's fantastic. I love that because, again, she's a character that was giving Buffy shit for it. But then when it came down to it, she immediately crumbled. And that was my favorite part of the episode, I think. Is the moment where she immediately crumbled. So they're talking about what happened, what they did to her watcher and shit. And then she looks through the peephole and you see the guy that was renting the place or whatever. Like, the what is the what are these fuckers called? The landlord, there we go. You know, parasites of society. But then you see this guy through the peephole, and I'm just looking at him, and I'm like, he's clearly dead. He's clearly dead, and they're holding him like a puppet. And that's exactly what happens. So she opened the door, and immediately there he is, kakistas himself, and it's like, shit. And I like that a lot, because immediately she closed the door, and she just started screaming. Let me get verbatim what she just started screaming, because it was very good. First she froze and let him grab her. And then she just started screaming, oh no, holding her head. And I think she literally fell to her knees as well. And then Buffy's the one like, fucking stop, run. And then she grabbed her and made her run. They started running together. They found themselves in a trap. And then Buffy just goes, girl, just tell me what happened. And then Buffy kind of works as a motivational speaker, just like, girl, we got this. And then she gets really afraid. Faith gets really afraid because they're actually in his lair. So, okay, that's bad. But it all worked out in the end. But hey, I like this introduction to Faith a lot. I like this character that they give me in this episode. I'm excited to see where she's gonna go. I feel like after this one episode, after the events here, she's gonna become more amicable, like towards Buffy, maybe the rest too. I mean, she's okay with the rest. It's mostly Buffy. But like, I feel like she's gonna become more amicable now that we know like each other's like pain in a way. Like she knows something about Angel because they told her, but she doesn't know exactly how much I meant to Buffy. But maybe she will have a better respect for it now that Buffy, I think, has more respect for her as well, for Faith, because now we know Faith's issues. So she's gonna stick around. New cast member, another Slayer. I love her a lot. I hope this one, I think she's gonna die. Like, here's the thing, it's that, like, I feel like she's gonna die at the end of the season, like they did with Kendra. Like, we're just gonna do this every season, right? We're just gonna new Slayer, and they're gonna die, and then we're gonna get a new Slayer, and they're gonna die again. But at one point, it will just feel repetitive, but I see Faith dying at some point. I hope she doesn't. I hope she becomes a permanent, like, co-protagonist, deuteragonist, I feel. That would be cool. I hope to see her at some point in the credit sequence at the beginning. But for now, I'm sitting here thinking like she might be gone before the season ends. So we'll see where this goes. But even if she does die at the end of the season, as long as she has more than like 10 minutes of screen time, we're going to be good. Because that's going to be better than Kendra. Again, I said this before, but I really like Kendra. And the fact that she showed up, we had a one episode together, and then she left, and then she came back 10 episodes later for 5 minutes and then immediately died. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry, that didn't really do much for me. It didn't make me feel like emotionally like struck as I should have. And it's entirely because like we just didn't spend that much time with her. Like, come on. So even if they do kill Faith, I want them to fuck me up. And by that I mean just keep her around for the entire season. I'll be good as long as we have a lot of time on screen with her. Like, that'll be good. But yeah, I'm just happy. I like this Slayer a lot, more than the previous two. Even after everything Buffy has gone through that I say that I really like, because I really did like what we saw here at the beginning of this season, I still like Faith a lot. A lot more. Because that's the kind of character that's like my jam, really. I mean, there's a couple like character, like, is it stereotypes? It wouldn't be a stereotype, but it's like, there's some specific character roots that I take that are usually characters that I really, really like. And Faith is one of them. At least what we see here in this first episode. We'll see how this goes. She seems really cool. All right. So we'll see how she acclimates into the cast. We'll see what the deal is with the potential main antagonist that we're gonna see in this smooth ass guy with the suit and the other woman vampire that I don't know anything about. It was really cool to see Buffy struggle with her thing with Angel in this episode and how finally she was able to kind of move on from it at the end. But not for long, because Angel literally comes back like 5 seconds later. So we'll see what that is about. I hope it's the good Angel and not the bad one. There was a scene with Joyce like realizing that Buffy had died in season 1. I call bullshit on that because it took me so long to realize that. And I'm guessing that it took a lot of people until the explanation to realize that. And Buffy just says like, oh yeah, there was another Slayer. And Joyce is like, that means you died before. And it's like, you can make that. I'm not saying you can't. You can absolutely make that connection. You can absolutely just like realize, okay, that's what happened. But I feel like before that stage, there should be a lot of confusion. And I feel like she should have asked more questions before going to like, that means you died. It must have been like, okay, but how is there two? You're still here. Like, are there two, not just one? And it's just like, no, mom, I died. And it's like, okay. Like, that felt very quick. I get it. The scene had to flow quick. But that to me felt like, come on. Joyce wouldn't have been able to make that assumption immediately. But I do like that she shows that concern and that they're bonding together. I love seeing Buffy and Joyce talk about things versus not talk about anything at all. Like, this is so good. This is going to be something that I'm going to treasure moving forward into the show. This is so much better. Like I said before, like I'm just waiting for the moment where Joyce finally knows what the deal is with Buffy. I'm happy that we're here. I'm happy that we're here because moving forward into the show, at least until Joyce probably dies, because here's the thing. The only character that's guaranteed not to die, at least until the end, is Buffy because her name is in the title. Unless we kill her and then we replace her with another character named Buffy. But I don't think that's happening. But that means that everyone else is like free for grabs, and Buffy's mom is like a very clear character that would hurt a lot, and she has like zero combat capabilities, and she's just chilling at her house at all times. So all it takes is for like one vampire to get in, and I know the rule about the houses. Still, there's just like one day she just comes back home, she just steps out of the car and they're just gonna get her. Like if they ever wanted to hurt Buffy, that's a very easy way to do it. So I'm like expecting this to happen at some point. But okay, talking about like moving forward into the future, something I thought about in this episode is that I think they're talking about being seniors in this episode. I don't know what a senior is because I'm not American, but I'm gonna guess it's like the last year of high school or like the second. This is season 3. We went at high school for 3 years. How long is high school for y'all? Because y'all also have middle school. High school. How long is high school in America? 4 years. Oh, so it's 4 years, not 3. But I think Buffy was already in high school in the... Okay, I'm seeing it here. Freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. This is fucking bullshit. Why do you give it like weird like titles that mean nothing? Junior is the third one. I hate it. I hate it here. Like in my country, we just fucking do normal shit and we just go like, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In my time, it was 7. I think it's 6 now. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 again, and that's it. Just like, yeah, I'm in 3rd grade instead of I'm a fucking junior or whatever that means. But yeah, if they're seniors, that means this is the last year of high school. That's interesting because it means that eventually we're just gonna move away from high school at all, just altogether. We're just gonna leave high school because I know the show has 7 seasons. That means that moving forward into the future, we're just gonna leave high school. So this is gonna stop being like a weird high school slice of life show, also a Monster of the Week show. It's gonna turn into like, I don't fucking know, Buffy goes to college, right? Buffy gets a part-time job. Like, okay, this could be really interesting. I'm actually excited about the future of the show, if anything, just because of that, right? Because we're just gonna fucking stop going to high school, and it's gonna turn into something completely different. That's something I'm excited about. Okay, I think that's the final thing I want to mention about this episode. I don't know if there's much else. I just really like Faith. I hope she doesn't just like immediately eat shit and die. She's cool. Anyway, I'm just gonna go now. Alright, that's gonna be it for this episode of Buffy Reaction. See you guys next time. Alright everyone, thank you so much for watching this reaction episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. If you would like to watch the next 2 episode reactions, you can already do so over at the Patreon, as well as full-length reactions. Check out the link in the description for that, social media, all sorts of stuff that I do, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care everybody. Bye bye.